right into it here. I am joined today by none other than Yoshi64. Yoshi, how are you doing today?
I'm doing phenomenal. It's been a while. Hey, I'm locking in. I'm ready to watch this historic matchup. Wasn't it Bozo Bunch versus EKC week 1 last season, and I think the season before. It's we're here, we're back, and both teams loading up on the main rosters, pulling out some interesting comps. I'm seeing a rune on my screen. I'm already getting excited, looking forward to this, and I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm excited for this too. I think we'll have some good players, of course, this season. NASL being one of the highest tiers of play, and we'll be getting right into it. Atlas's Lab will be map number 1. We'll have to see how this Estelle goalie fares.
Yeah, definitely a really interesting pick. Bread's just known for these not quite meta goalies, but still performing on them always, running the strike shot. Thing I'm looking at, like I said, is the rune on Yuko Kita, also known as Katsuna, who will be referred to as Katsuna for the rest of the series. I don't know if I've got it in me to read that. And it's been a pick that's been showing up a lot. Opinions of the rune character have been sky high recently, and I'm looking forward to see how it performs. Big Banish coming out onto Dropletto. Both barriers down for EKC right now, and I think early game, the Bozo Bunch comp is going to be a lot stronger. They just have a lot more scoring potential. But NXCD has phenomenal KO potential, and he's going to be taking out Breads right there. And, you know, if NXCD pulls it off, which he is known to do, this could just be an EKC game.
That's right. We've seen Juliet's today popping off all throughout our matches on week 1. NXCD, no stranger to this Juliet character. And there's the core flip right away from Katsuna. Finds that top corner, and there's some explosive energy, but it did take a core flip to get it done. So we'll have to see if Bozo Bunch is going to be able to secure this first set, or if it will fall to EKC.
Yeah, all the core flips, all the energy down on EKC, had to use them to score those points, which means Bozo Bunch has a ton of it. Ooh. But one core flip dropped, another different circumstances, but all the energy has been wiped off, both brawlers down, and now it's just a humble 2v2. EKC, or Bozo Bunch, has to defend EKC on the offensive. Soren really getting in there, playing a little bit of forward action, while Katsuna stays behind trying to defend. But only one barrier goes down for Bozo Bunch. And NXCD dropped again. Now it's Bozo Bunch's power play, and they're on the offensive right here. Slipping it in. The pillar not quite stopping that. And Muncher Gret is going to be putting that one in, tying up this game.
That's right, a little quick start to this, and the KOs are already flying. Of course, we've seen 2 already, 1 for each point. Surely another one. A nice save by Soren as he keeps that out. Katsuna looking for something. NXCD almost gets the KO on the Gret there, who survives with 1 HP, able to retreat and find that orb, but at the loss for 1 barrier. Purebreds gonna hold this down, and Katsuna running for their life. Just trying to stay alive. Will heal up, but look at all the danger in front of the net. There's a nice flip to secure 1 barrier, but we are even, though the pressure is mounting on the side of EKC.
Yeah, absolutely. As Katsuna is going to go down to the cyber swipe, turret in the corner, the Bozo Bunch corner offense just going crazy here. Gets both barriers, and now they're doing a lot of damage here. The Estelle, the Aimee, the Rasmus, all just characters that can output a lot of damage, a lot of chip damage, just progressively getting it, knocking people down. Soren going down, and Gret just tapping it in that bottom corner. Gonna slide that right in and pull ahead here.
Well, when you said the Bozo bench, you weren't wrong. These players are being taken off the map left and right. Despite having a now on this team, that being Soren, it's still hard to keep your teammates alive. As we just see over and over, these people taken off the map, and 1 barrier will fall. There's the flip not being used, just skirting right around that unstable anomaly there. Brad looking to get this through, trying to win the strike war against Katsuna. There's the flip into the cyber swipe. NXCD is low in this corner, but does have flip. Will get healed all the way back up by Soren, and we're back to even. The Bozo Bunch missing 1 barrier. We'll see if Soren's able to keep this alive as he goes for the sword.
Yeah, Dropletto taken down low. NXCD with the flip. Gonna knock out Gret right there with it. Now power play, open net. Breads burns the flip, gets it ahead, almost gets both barriers, but unlucky Sad Boy's angle does not take that first one. NXCD staggered, gonna have to get something done, but gets pendulum swung right into the net. Soren has a flip, able to defend. The double banish is gonna shut down all of Bozo Bunch's momentum. Now it's just Soren in the corner, able to get it out. NXCD is back. The flip almost sends it right in, but Breads with the blink, able to keep it forward. They're just, both teams looking for their opportunity. Bozo Bunch has to get this barrier if they want to secure the set right here and now. EKC has the opportunity. NXCD in the 1v1, able to mix up Breads with the bottom shot. Breads moving up. It's just tough 50-50, and that's a tie game. 0.5.
Yeah, we've seen this time and time again today. All these teams want to make it. So 0.5. You know, they just want to keep things interesting. They want to get as many goals as they can. They want to hit level 10 in the first set if they have a chance, you know? At least that's how it feels with these matches today. See Dropletto trying to cook on this Rasmus. Looking for something. Pressure mounting in the bottom. A nice clear away, though. Will save some. And a beautiful unstable anomaly almost saves that. But instead, a core flip for his efforts. See Kitten pushing up. There's the flip. Will secure that barrier. And now NXDD will be camping, sitting on top of this Estelle from Obscure Breads. All you got to do is pass it up, and a nice flip to save things from Soren. Keeping this at a distance with that Rose Warp, and oh no, the core just drifts through. The first set will go to Bozo Bunch.
Yeah, Soren pushing up, trying to catch the core before it gets into a dangerous situation, but unfortunately, the situation was dangerous enough. It got past. I really like how Gret flipped, knowing that Soren had core flip. He shot it and then traded core flips because Dropletto came in right away with another core flip, and I think that was really smart play by Bozo Bunch. Here, rewarded with 1-2 punch on the IME. Gonna be putting out a ton of damage, and again, already been doing a lot of that. Gonna be way more impactful. Spark of Resilience going to NXCD. If he can pick up some more sparks, that's gonna get really scary really quickly. It'd be a big deal. Watch out for that. Katsuna picking up Hotshot. Also a pretty big deal. Just farming more CDs for pillars. Gonna be really nice to see. And then, of course, Dropletto on the big fish. His potential to make any play just exploded. Rasmus with size, as we know, is incredibly potent. That being said, not Bozo Bunch's point. Not going well right now, but maybe they can turn it around. Dropletto might be able to get in there. Gets one barrier. Gonna be looking for two. But NXCD has the ball and a bunch of pillars behind him to get to work. So EKC looking for their opportunity, but just unable to find it right here.
Yeah, I mean, this is scary for Bozo Bunch. It's so hard to get in against Katsuna when you see that hot shot coming through. The banish not working out this time, but a huge gravity well from the middle just KOs Katsuna. And now it's a power play for Bozo Bunch, looking to get this past EKC. Gret up to Dropletto, back to Gret, stuffed again, this time by the ult. The flip comes out, and the piercing shot might not work. We have to see NXCD try to use this flip, but it's too fast. Obscure Breads not able to get to it and opts not to use the core flip instead. EKC takes the first point of the set.
Yeah, EKC, despite the power play, and honestly just the damage coming out from Bozo Bunch, it's seeming a little overwhelming, but NXCD has something to say about that. EKC doesn't have a super traditional damage comp, as you would think, whereas Bozo Bunch definitely does have a lot more damage, but they just have explosive burst potential. Katsuna with the banishes and the double pillars. NXCD playing Juliet. Anytime he has a flip, he's just a threat to society. Will be getting a KO off of it, almost definitely. But despite all that, EKC, just when they get their KOs, it'll be really big. Bozo Bunch playing a little bit more consistent, and Breads having a really great save earlier, but unfortunately, Katsuna getting in there, catching the beam, and winning that interaction. EKC is just kind of running away with this set now. They're not getting KO'd as much as we saw in that last point, and I think it's it's really helping them if they're able to just stay alive, but get the KOs that they're looking for with this Rune and this Juliet. I think this game is theirs.
There's just so much on the pitch that it's hard to get through. I mean, we see the sentry turret coming out, and it's still not enough to get it done. Dropletto trying to push things forward. We see NXDD just dealing damage with that ult. Almost gets the dash punch on Gret. Is able to stay alive. Gret low HP as we see NXDD get fully healed back up. And that's the difference maker, is this HP. We'll see the KO, and we'll see Katsuna just flying across the map, taking up so much space that it's going to be hard to make this work for the Bozo Bunch. There's the flip coming out, redirected towards the bottom. You see the dash punch, not quite predicted right. As the unstable anomaly pops just a little bit too early. Bozo Bunch able to take that second barrier. And here's where it's hard. NXDD with the flip to the bottom corner. Obscure Breads not able to stop that. And this set will go the way of EKC.
Yeah, really well played by EKC. They were just able to avoid a lot of the damage, play to their win conditions, and a lot of stuff. And oh, Spark of Strength detected. That's about to go a little crazy. Juliet swagging up with 110 power base, an extra 48. Is it? Hold on, I can do a little bit of math. No, 44, but that's 154 power.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. And a ton of stagger, too. The Super Surge, I was about to say, getting denied. Almost went to Gret right there, hovering it. Picks up Adrenaline Rush. Gonna be really nice with that 1-2 punch. Stacks on Breads. I think it's a pretty big deal. You know, that guy's just been, like, barely missing the core in these situations. And with extra speed, he's gonna be able to cover it that much more. But, like, NXDD got a second Spark, you know, and Spark of Focus was on the board. You know, not able to get all four, but still, that's dangerous for Bozo Bunch. That's really, really scary. The first pick Spark. There's still, I believe, Spark of Agility left on the table, which would be insane. You know, so Bozo Bunch kind of has to win the set now, lest the Secretary come and ruin their day.
That's right, and we already see Dropletto on such low HP. The Banish coming out, combined with Soren, will take Dropletto off the map in a power play, this time for the side of EKC. Trying to get that core forward. Gret putting as much out. Obscure Breads burning all of the abilities. Here's the dash punch, no flip needed. NXDD with that bread and butter will score another point for EKC. And they're looking strong, and they're scaling very, very well.
They're scaling very, very well. Something I want to shout out about NXDD is that this guy generates energy on Juliet so quickly. Has that core flip right there, and always makes use of it for the KOs. Scored the point the last set off of it. And I found out, did a little bit of math. Normal hits in this game give you 3 energy, and so a dash punch, you know, composed of 2 normal hits. Oh, it's gonna be KOing that guy. Right, as Katsuna goes for the score. Wow. But normal hits give 3 energy, so a dash punch on the core would give you 6 energy. If you're dash punching a guy, that's 12 energy. If you're in the corner hitting multiple people, you're just scaling up so much energy. And I think that's something that not a lot of people think about, especially with how useful core flip is on Juliet for securing these KOs. It's super dangerous. All that being said, I was too busy yapping my brains out. Katsuna has perished. A moment of silence for that guy.
And we're back. Yeah, a moment of silence by a loud explosion. We see Dropletto managed to get that one. It was a great moment of silence. Unfortunately, interrupted a little bit too loud by the cheers of the crowd celebrating for Katsuna's death.
Yeah, Bozo Bunch stepping in saying we're not giving that guy any time, any silence.
No
but they've lost both their barriers.
They sure have. Pour out a super surge for that person. As here we see Gret. That is a beautiful unstable anomaly. Forces the core flip out. Obscure Breads a lot of damage on them and steps into that. Such low HP. Has to use the piercing shot and the ult. Ultimately gets KO'd. An unfortunate situation with no energy. Just takes too much damage from this EKC offense. And look at this. Already set point. Looking forward. I mean, just one more set is all that stands between EKC and being up 1-0 in the series.
Yeah, and holy moly, look at this draft. Perfect form and Catalyst both on the board. No Sparks. You know, not a problem there, but and talking about generating energy on Juliet, stack Catalyst on top of that, and it's looking a little scary. just 2 sparks is going crazy on NXCD right now, and Catalyst just makes it look so difficult for Bozo Bunch to do anything. Dropletto getting a second size awakening, though, could be good. All of that size and nice edge is going to make it really easy to get that extra speed. You're just bigger. You have a wider range to proc it. Just super nice. But Bozo Bunch right now just has to survive against the Juliet onslaught, and it's not happening. NXCD is just unchained. 2 sparks and he's ready to go.
Yeah, it is not happening at all. A 16-second goal there for the side of EKC, and this is what they're looking for. This is that explosivity that you mentioned earlier as we see these barriers stay alive and more pressure mounts. It's so difficult when you are playing that Estelle goalie to deal with just characters that stuff. I mean, look at Julie, dash punch, securing it over and over and over. You want to clear it out? Here's an unstable anomaly right in your face to put it back, and you have nothing to deal with. So it's so difficult, and we just see NXCD already has this flip ops to just burn it instantly, as they know, give them 15 seconds, they'll get it back.
Yeah, and just look at this guy go. He's a one-man show. And I really like what you mentioned about the rune being able to support Juliet with these pillars, unstable anomalies in the back showing up, because Juliet has a lot of tools, especially the ult. With Catalyst 500 core flip to just hold the core in a space. We won't talk about it. You're good, Soren. I have to go next. And so Juliet can just go 1v9 mode in the corner and push up, and then with the pillar, at her back, Rune can just support from behind really well. And again, that's a go next. It happens. So I really like this Rune Juliet forward. It's looking really, really strong.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm excited to see if this is something that progresses as we move forward in NASL. Last season we saw very few Rune players. Of course, today we've seen 2 of them. We saw one from Demon's Raw earlier, and now we have one from EKC. So definitely an interesting scenario, and we'll have to see how it's moving forward. There's the flip, and the second barrier will fall while we're talking. There's a double from Dropletto. Looking to stuff this through. Got 1 point, but it's a scary spot now. The flip comes out. The perfect save, but it's not enough. EKC takes map number 1.
Oh my god. I was completely ready to say, Bozo Bunch getting both barriers. Their point to score, about to bring it back. And then EKC just got in their net and talking about explosivity. Just blew it all up. Got that right in there, and just really well played by EKC. I believe Bozo Bunch is notorious for always winning this matchup between the two, but EKC is looking really, really strong, and I was really impressed by the gameplay. Again, NXCD 7 goals, 6 KOs is just an unstoppable force right now, and yeah, I think Bozo Bunch needs to figure out how to deal with the Juliet, because if I'm EKC, I'm sitting there and it's like, yeah, we are going to pick Juliet next game. It looks really good.
Oh, 100%. And I mean, that whole comp, right, was set up around making sure Juliet has everything she needs. It was like a sick kid in bed with a fever. Oh, you need some healing? You took a little bit of damage? Here you go. Here's some medicine from now. Oh, someone's going for you? Here's a giant unstable anomaly right behind you to keep you in the fight. That was really all you needed. And with that whole comp supporting just the Juliet, NXCD, of course, popping off with those 7 goals, I think that, Bozo Bunch has their work cut out for them. They have to figure out a way to put a stop to that, whether that be a Juliet ban or maybe playing a different type of goalie. We'll have to see how they adapt their strategy if they want to come back and even out this series to 1-1. And I believe our next map will be Taiko Temple, if I can read that correctly. It's very small on my screen, so you'll have to tell me if that's right.
Hey, that would be correct. We are going straight to the temple. Where, Juliet, talk of the match, looks really good on that map. Has a lot of narrow spaces where you can just force people to get in the corner in the wall and just, boom, you've been dash punched. Sorry, bye-bye. And, right, it's really scary. The character has just been exploding in popularity recently. Looking really strong, and NXCD is someone who is able to just bring out the most out of Juliet. I mentioned earlier about Juliet generating a lot of energy through Dash Punch, but I think NXT is just really, really good at the character. He's always hitting as many things as he can with his abilities to generate more energy. He's always just running around hitting the ball. There's the impression that Juliet, the character, is only good for her Dash Punch and then sometimes she ults. But obviously, this guy is on the ground floor, on the front lines, doing everything he can in the core control department to help out, farming those redirects, getting that energy up. And I don't see many people play Juliet like him. It's super impressive. And I'm going to sit here and continue to talk it up because it looks really good. And again, like I said, going straight to Taiko, that's a great time to pull out the Juliet. I would be upset, frankly, if they didn't play it.
That's right. And yes, my camera did get dash punched. I'm sorry for that. So I am just a floating advertisement. Now you get to know the brand. Apologies for that. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be interesting. We're going to be getting into draft here. So we will get to see what these teams will pick. Of course, cast to last explosive entrants are going to be the two starting awakenings, which means we might see some projectiles and some creations just sitting on the ground potentially the entire time.
Yeah, and Bozo Bunch. This just in, submitting the Juliet ban, which, hey, is a very, very good way of dealing with the character. You know, the respect ban saying, we're just not dealing with that. And I think it's pretty smart. You know, I can only talk for so long about how how much I enjoy the NXT Julie, but hey, they got it. The big thing though is that means it's not a Luna ban, and Katsuna can be unleashed to pick the character that he's known for, plays all the time. Bozo first picking the Zentaro, but no, EKC is locking in. I mean now, and it might be IME midfield. Now I don't, knowing EKC, IME brawler, now goalie, and they're saving the Luna pick because they know that Bozo Bunch isn't going to snipe it. Final answer.
Well, the results are in. You might be right. I don't know. I don't know the answer, but we'll have to see how that works out. I mean, we do see that Finny ban, of course, being a very strong thing. Cast to last, you know, with that smoke ability, it makes things so hard. Just so hard to play against. So, I mean, we see the damage. Taiko Temple, a map where you can just kind of toss someone into a drum. I mean, at least when I play Dubu, I just love throwing a log at someone standing on my side of the map, and they just get tossed. So it's always a good time. But yeah, looking at this comp, we do see Bozo Bunch has this fully locked in, the Zentaro, Rasmus, and Juno, which the question is, who will be the goalie? Will it be the Rasmus or the Juno? My guess, I don't know. I don't have a good guess. What do you think, Yoshi?
I think the Rasmus is going in the box. Breads is very fond of the pick. You can be getting that going. And I believe Gret's been playing Juno recently. I haven't seen much of it, but pretty exciting. Juno has been in, I think, almost every series. People used to already thinking that character was not very good. Opinions changed pretty quickly. Been seeing a whole lot of Juno. Although a lot of them were on hotshot starts. Happens. Makes sense. But I'm excited to see the Juno. I also think it's been looking pretty good. I'm also seeing the Rune pick come out from EKC, which is super interesting because obviously they've intentionally opted to not pick the Luna. And that's a pretty not bold statement. Right? Obviously we saw Katsuna play Rune last game and it looked good. But for this whole reputation surrounding this guy as the Luna guy, and for almost every team to be banning Luna against them, I think this is a really interesting choice. And I wonder if it'll work. It might also be that Luna is like not great on Taiko Temple. You got a big thing in the center, hard to get the most out of her abilities, but I don't know. He picks it on Night Market. Some things don't stop him.
Well, we'll have to see. It looks like we will be getting into this match here. Taiko Temple, Of course, we see EKC up 1-0 in this series, so Bozo Bunch, this is do or die for them during this first week. But it is only week 1, of course. I mean, we've seen some incredible upsets already today. So many 2-1 matches. Would love to see one again and make the stream go even longer and make my camera suffer even more. But it's like we're going to kick things off here. Brett's going to be up on the top, playing this midfield Juno. We're going to have to be careful of the scaling potential on a character like this, as these blobs able to act as third and fourth players sometimes. Just simply passes it to your teammates, and also the damage that we will see coming out in the future. We saw how explosive this previous game was, and we might see it again today.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Bozo Bunch comp right now, and it's, you know, a very, very strong damage comp. The Rasmus goalie with Pauldrons just has 125 power, explosive. Oh! Hey, you know, Pauldrons doesn't save that. NXCD on the Imi Brawler is out here with the explosive entrance, dashing in there, looking really strong. And I'm talking about Bozo Bunch's comp first. I don't want to look at EKC's yet. Something funny on my screen. But Dash Awakenings all around on Bozo Bunch's side. You know, and just like a strong damage goalie pick, and Zentaro, who's one of the best damage dealers in the game. Looks really good. Juno for the control, chip damage, etc. I like the Bozo Bunch comp. EKC has now goalie who almost died. Great evade from Soren, gonna prevent that. Great pass coming out from Dropletto. They got some wacky things going on. I think the Imi Brawler, though, as NXCD has described, is like long-range Juliet, where you dash punch, but at a distance. Yeah, I think if he can pull that off, and I think it looks pretty good. I'm about it. He's gonna have to come back in 13 seconds.
Speaking of being pulled off, they need to have a quick talk off the side of the map here. We see Katsuna able to actually intercept that Death Touch from Obscure Breads. Let's see Soren able to keep the pressure here. The clear does go right by Katsuna, though. This Zentaro uses the slice and dice and a beautiful pendulum swing from Obscure Breads to keep this barrier alive. For how much longer we will see as the entire EKC offense pushed up past this side of the map, looking for something. Dropletto and Gret trying to find any opportunity they can. The blobs helping out just a little. That unstable anomaly, very scary. The momentum can shift so fast with these drums. Dropletto up here winning strike war after strike war. There's the jump forward from Gret. Not working out this time. Here, Red's popping the unstable anomaly. Dropletto looking for the stuff, but beautiful spacing from Soren. Dropletto survives on 1 HP, being passed around the map. Comes the shot again. The banish coming out. Will that be enough to KO? No, it will not. Gret survives with low HP. But taken off the map. Dropletto. It's a 2 versus 3 for the Bozo Bunch, and the entire offense is pushed past the line. There's the shot. But there's not enough. Obscure Breads gets stuffed. And NXCD just waits it out. A beautiful mind game. NXCD shoots it right through the defense, and just like that, EKC is up 2-0.
Yeah, the patience play. NXCD just holding the flip a little bit longer. Both teams were stuck in a stalemate for a very long time. Bozo Bunch holding the one barrier forever, and Soren, you know, making crazy saves on the open net. It just, both these teams, are playing beautifully on defense right now. And a Bozo Bunch, I think, is just really struggling to get through the now. Dropletto did spend a lot of that last point staggered, you know, unable to really get into the play before, without threat of being KO'd. But Gret here, with a beautiful little tap. You know, good for par, getting that right in the bottom corner. Core flip, not needed. Just wait through all of it, all the cooldowns coming out, and it'll just be able to tap it in.
Yeah, despite this being a temple, that was an unholy angle there in the bottom. Nice find. Dropletto manages to get one barrier. That glitch pop coming out, not quite enough, as now the entire team healed up by Soren. One barrier falls on each side, and Dropletto is low HP, just trying to evade all these glitch pops and damage slowly being put out from the EKC team onto them. NXCD, if you're not careful, you might get taken off the map by that. Dropletto with with that explosive entrance is quite the threat. Will be able to survive and retreat for orbs. But still, the pressure from EKC in terms of damage is just proving to be so much right now. Obscure Breads has to clear this out perfectly every time if they want a chance to win this. And time again, it's just making it right past.
Yeah, the offense coming out from EKC just looking so good. Breads has to play so well, but with EKC having a power play, a core flip right on the net, really tough, and they're going to be taking that set real quick. NXCD locking in the MVP, getting the KOs, and woo! I'm looking perfect form. Super Surge wants to double up on Dash Awakenings. That's so much damage on the Cyber Swipe. Perfect form, just great deny from Zentaro, who's 6th pick. Obviously, someone else can take it, but it's a great awakening. It's really good. That being said, you're giving Hotshot Juno, which is scary. We've been seeing a lot of Hotshot Juno today. It's a good pick. That does mean, though, that Katsuna... Or no, Soren. I'm so now midfield brain. I just forgot. And now goalie, with that Monumental, is going to be really nice. Can just throw the orbs up on that midfield line, and it just covers the whole lane. Really hard to deal with. Things are looking tough for Bozo Bunch. I will not lie. Drop Little picked up Adrenaline Rush, which I think has a lot of value and can create some good opportunities for them, but they have to be in situations where he's not dead to create those opportunities.
Yeah, well, definitely need some opportunities here. Taking off the map again. Look at all this trash in the goalie box. Will take that second barrier. There's the flip into the Cyber Swipe. Just the KO. It's absolutely brutal from NXCD. It's just so much power being output onto this team. Of course, every character can just do so much damage. We saw last round Dropletto within 8 seconds of being on the pitch reduced to a mere 1 HP, and it's happening again. In under 10 seconds, this person is KO'd. They are gone. The striker is deleted off the map. And look at all of the pressure. Soren pushing up. The blobs trying to help. There's the flip through the turret. A beautiful angle there. The little combination from Soren and the pressure from Katsuna and NXZD will net the goalie a goal. Go figure, huh?
Yeah. Hey, EKC is just vicious today. NXCD is doing his thing. Juliet or not, the KOs are coming out. And then they just have 3 creation characters. You know, Woe Be Upon Ye, Turret, Pillar, and now Drone are right in front of your barrier, and you have to figure out how to clear it, or else your barrier goes down. That wouldn't be very good. It's just like, this looks like agony to play against. EKC, once again, is unrelenting. Taking every opportunity to put it in, has both barriers down. 1 point away from winning the set. Like, Bozo Bunch has to start changing things up if they want to win this set, let alone the game. There's so much on the line here for this week 1 match.
Ooh,
but
that's a big find.
That's a huge
find. It just goes in. I mean, if the change you're talking about is simply living, then 100% you're correct. I mean, look at the difference here just on NXDD versus Dropletto. A 3-level difference, soon to be 2. But still, I mean, I couldn't even help laughing, but last round, a 2-second KO. Look at that. The combination, Dropletto just loses all of his health immediately. And then the rest of the defense struggles to keep things alive. I mean, EKC is just looking so dominant, so explosive. There's the flip for the second barrier. What can Bozo Bunch do except sit back and watch as EKC just controls the show?
Yeah, absolutely. Breads has a flip, but Dropletto goes down. And Gret trying to get it through the pillar. Looking for an opportunity, but EKC has power play. Soren walking in, but the pillar in Bread's face and the glitch pop stun is going to be putting that in. And we're really seeing this Zentaro pick kind of backfire. Obviously, the character is so strong and does everything. It does everything. That guy can do it all. But he has such little stagger that even Imi Brawler and Rune midfield are able to just smite him. And it's so much damage, so hard to deal with, and it's been forcing Bozo Bunch into this permanent 2v3. It makes EKC look so dominant because they're just really far behind in every play, and it's really hard to deal with that. Anyway, that draft is a little scary. I think Gret picking up this Unstoppable is going to be very nice, very useful. But Dropletto really needed some survivability, stay in the game. Picks up a Spark of Strength, which is not quite that. And NXCD got Catalyst. That's perfect form Catalyst. That's a lot of energy. It's terrifying. And they're just brawling. NXCD taking the brunt of the damage right now, though. If Bozo Bunch is able to get a lot of damage on, kind of turn the tables here, have the turntables, etc., I think they have a chance. It's do or die this set. They have to start on the comeback. Now or never, as they say. And it's looking a little tough. It's looking like it's not right now. But game's not over yet. Could be next point.
I mean, it sure could. I can tell EKC is just having fun with it. Soren, we saw just stalling out time so much, using those dribbles, using those abilities to just keep the core out. Meanwhile, the rest of the team absolutely wailing on Bozo Bunch. And that's really the issue, like you mentioned. Bozo Bunch just not allowed to play their game, forced to play it like EKC's rules. And it's so hard. I mean, look at what you have to get through. That unstable anomaly from Katsuna, just beautiful, keeping things alive on the defense. And we see Dropletto taken out again. This game is bloody, and this game is ruthless when you're playing against EKC. And here comes the flip. This time from Obscure Breads. NXCD not using it yet, but has that catalyst. So we'll see more and more flips being used from them. Dropletto's back, able to stuff it through. It's going to take a lot more than that. You're trying to come back from an 0-2 set. And Soren just toying around in the goal with that angle. There's the banish. So much damage. Dropletto staggered immediately, dodges the cyber swipe, but still gets the orb stolen. And it's so hard for Bozo Bunch. Looking to find something. The shot from Katsuna to the top corner will put them 1 point away from closing out this series.
Right, here it is. Either EKC sweeps this game away in a very clean series, or Bozo Bunch. I think KO's NXCD, which is, they're halfway there. Gotta watch out for all the now healing. I believe Soren has that ultimate to put a real damper on their plans, but Dropletto is low, and things are looking really rough. As Bozo Bunch has to perform the corner defense here. Looking strong so far. Katsuna had the core, not able to get it. Dropletto has been ejected out of the field, unfortunately. And now another power play for EKC. We're struggling a bit on defense, trying to get it through, but it looks like Dropletto is back. Nothing gained from the power play. And we're kind of locked in a little bit of a stalemate here.
There's that turret again coming out. So hard to defend against. Thankfully, the Juno blobs from Gret are still there. There we go into the corner. Now it's the side of Bozo Bunch with the double banish. The core flip to stall things out from Gret. It's going back so fast in a beautiful pendulum swing. Keep that barrier alive. NXCD has the read, but just not able to capitalize on that last barrier. Bozo Bunch has to do something, and they have to do it now. There's simply so much in the midfield, and great from NXCD to keep this pressure. Look at this, the own barrier, as you have to try to keep it alive. Obscure Breads has the flip, but that's all they have, forced to use it. And 2 flips on the side of EKC. Dispels disaster. The flip coming out almost KOs NXCD, who is still alive somehow, some way. Sitting on this side of the pitch, Gret looking to do it and finds the angle again into the bottom side of EKC's net. It's 1 point, but will it be enough? And is this the claw that can claw its way back in? We'll have to see. Because once again, yet another insanely powerful kickoff that this time goes the way of EKC.
Yeah, I'm looking at NXCD this whole time, and his aura with flip is just so menacing. Gonna be getting that barrier. EKC trying to end the game right there and now. Not gonna be getting it. But It's Obscure Breads versus the world. Gret getting banished. Coming back here. Now pushing up on offense. Has an opportunity. Gret has a flip. A lot can be done here. Bozo Bunch getting that first point in this set. Gonna be looking to bring it back. But drop leto's low, and he just has to play for life here, but it's so difficult. Almost gets the barrier on the dash. It just has to weave through 500 cooldowns. As here, it's Katsuna trying to mount an offense, and another power play for EKC. This could be it.
This could be it. It's so close. Soren is up past the midfield line with that core flip, looking to score it for himself. And NXCD just puts it through. Nothing you can do about it. And EKC takes this series 2-0. And we'll wrap up week 1 of season 5 of the North American Strikers League.
Yeah, a phenomenal performance coming out from EKC. They played really well. I think a lot of people have been down on this team, and I'm wondering why that is, because they just played some phenomenal Omega Strikers. EKC is coming out full force, starting the season 1-0. Bozo Bunch, unfortunately, not taking the W this time. Bit of a shift in the power dynamic in NASL here, but of course, it's just week 1. We got 8 more of these. So anything can change, anything can happen, but I'm really impressed by EKC today.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, EKC was looking incredibly dominant throughout all these matches, and they were just playing really well together. They doing all that damage. We'll have to see. Of course, all these teams are going to be doing a lot of VOD review. And I believe, as K-Bot mentioned earlier, it's still early enough in the season where not everyone knows exactly how their opponents are going to play. However, as we move through the weeks, we have these coaches, we have these analysts on board these teams that are able to come in, tell them how to beat this strategy. And I think a lot of teams are going to be studying Rune and Juliet after this week's matches.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I would get in the lab right away after seeing that. It's just masterclass on both characters. Looking real nice. But yeah, super impressed. I believe that's going to be everything for right now. We got a post show coming up. Question mark? I think so. I'm looking for an opportunity to cut to the break here. So, anything you've got left?
Yeah, of course. Thank you all for watching week 1. We'll be happy to see you in the coming weeks for sure, as we have some more amazing competitions. Of course, don't forget, check out the Bestie and Slop shop. There's actually some crazy t-shirts and merch and all sorts of cool things in there. So definitely go take a look if you haven't already. Put it on your Christmas list, even though it's a little bit early. And of course, I'm Tech, joined today by Z Yoshi, a million Yoshis, 64 of them actually. As we hop into this break, next will be the post show with Brickbat, I believe, as your host. So don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back. See you soon.
Bye.
Hello, everyone. We are here after the first week of the 5th season of the North American Strikers League. I am joined by some wonderful brawlers and a wonderful goalie here. Joker, Drew, NX, and Soren are all here today to answer some questions and provide some thoughts as we get into the thick of it here of the regular season. We'll go through it, I think, in chronological order of how you guys joined. Joker, you're coming off of a Showtime victory, probably maybe the second most, one of the two decisive victories today against Return to Form. What are your thoughts going in to the North American Strikers League? And I think kind of the bigger question is, what's it feel like to be right now above Sad Boys and Demons Raw as kind of the team that most people are going to be looking at to really take it all here in the regular season and eventually in playoffs as well?
I mean, first to answer the first part of the question, how it feels going into the season in general, like I'm beyond happy this season because this is my fifth season in NASL, right? And this is the first season actually that I'm going into the like new season with the full three team members of last season. So I'm like honestly really happy and grateful about that, and like happy my teammates chose to play with me again. And yeah, to answer the second question, I mean it's week one, right? Like I think last season, boys and demons both lost their week one as well, and like look how it ended, right? So like we can't really take like week one like at face value and like say like, oh, we're above them right now. It's like the season just started, right? But I mean, uh, in the like preseason predictions after landing that show, I said that we are gonna be first, and I still think so, right? I think we're good enough to do it. So yeah, that's that.
Mm. And going into it, I know that I think you were the only Octavia pick today. I think that generally. Oh, was there another one?
No,
I could have.
it was
My bad.
hard box.
Yes, you're right. Yeah,
He did
earlier
me
in the day.
proud. He did me proud.
Yeah, absolutely. An absolutely dominant performance, I think, from Cardbox as
Mhm.
well. I think that's one pick that I think most people are still a little bit interested in. It's kind of a pocket pick, especially as a brawler player yourself. It makes the kind of the character select from your team, I think, especially scary to go into. And going into kind of the future, I know that we saw in like some patch notes that potentially there was a chrono boost removal and stuff like that. But what are your thoughts on right now in this character? What does it serve for you in your pick ban, and how do you think you're going to be using it coming into the season?
Um, I think I'm gonna be using it like how I did today. Just like, and it's actually interesting that I'm about to say this too, because two other teams did that today, where they had a midfield pick. NXZD under me did it just now with the Amy, and Vaughn did it earlier with like the Jakar and the Estelle. But having a midfield pick like on the brawler, like doing a double midfield is like I think it's really valuable because you just have such an oppressive like play style, and you just keep the core coming at them over and over, and it's hard for them to get like offense on you because you're just running the game. And with the Octavia specifically here, it was a spark of a Riesel start. So I know if I go that, then I have two avenues to like end up with a really good build, and it's really hard to deny me, and I can just take over the game like that. So yeah, I plan to utilize her like that in the future, and we'll see what happens. It's just another threat that we can pull out. So yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting story. I'd love to come back to that too, but I really want to talk to Drew about some of their team compositions picks. We didn't have Fudgy here with us for this one, but I am curious on the thoughts of Atlas goalie. I know that your team kind of famously used a ton of Mako whenever Fudgy Waffles wanted to use a melee goalie, but looks like recently that's been kind of shifting over to the Atlas. Is there a particular reason that you've picked that, or do you think that Atlas is potentially very strong right now, or what are your thoughts on that?
We're big on barcode lore right now, where we're just picking Atlas Mako if we have no other ideas. But Atlas just feels really good, and I don't know. We want to like shift away from era Mako X and more of like stuff like Rasmus, Juliet, and like other KO options when they don't have an Atlas to revive them.
Right, that makes a lot of sense. And then coming into that as well, I know there was talks during the off season that I believe the 44th president of the United States might be making an appearance in the box for your team. That wasn't the case today, but is that something that we could look forward to in the future potentially?
Maybe like one game if it like has no if it has like no implications for like anything important. But we were thinking about that in the off season, but we had a nice little talk, and we kind of shifted away from that. But I'll be interested in see if that shows up.
Okay, and then I think the last question as well, and all of you guys can answer this. I think out of the three brawlers here present, I think that you're probably going to be the most likely
Or
to end up. Oh, true. Out of all four brawler players present, I think you're the one most likely to bust out Kazan here in the North American Strikers League. We heard her earlier with different compositions and stuff, like a lot of teams moving over to the Juliet, a lot of teams moving over to the Rasmus. It feels like Kazan might be challenged a lot to really justify this pick. I know that obviously he has his uses and stuff, but what are your reads right now for Kazan's spot in the meta?
I think, like, to put it plainly, I think he's awful. It's really hard to pilot. He's like no health, just like Zentaro. But if I have one comfort pick to go back to, it will be Kazan. But it's just really hard to pilot him right now. Obviously, I can get like some one-off goals, but it's no like consistent goal like path I can take.
Gotcha. And I know that at least with Katone, who's another kind of notable Kazan player, he really talks about how getting a little bit of size, even though you don't have to get all the size Awakening in the world, getting a little bit could really transform the character. Do you think that that's his current BIS right now, or do you think he has other options that he should be looking at first?
Yeah, I do think it's his current bis. Like I'd like to say he's the best size scaler in the game, just like hands down. I don't think any like there are a couple people that come close, but I think he's just blows them all out of the water. But other than that, just any other brawler stuff that would work. But size is definitely up there.
All right, yeah, and thank you for answering the questions. We're going to move back to that topic that we talked about before with the midfielders in the brawler position. So, Joker, feel free to answer those if you have any answer to this. But I did want to turn the attention over to EKC. I think your team was kind of one of the first teams to really do it with IME Brawler on that Taiko, the Taiko comp, specifically with creations. Now that we're seeing this be kind of pulled out a little bit more, we saw it with Sad Boys with the Estelle and the Drakkar as well. What are your thoughts? Do you think this is going to be kind of a new wave of picks for brawlers? Should brawlers have to really expand their pool in the coming weeks, or do you think that this is something that is really just a circumstance of the current drafting pool or meta or anything like that?
I'm gonna be honest. They took Centauro and Julie was banned, so I just picked me. That's kind of it. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
say it.
Mm.
It's like a comfort pick for me, especially on like that start. Like, this is explosive start, right? So a lot of like the IME potential is there with explosive. I think, like comparatively to some of the brawlers that I play. So like my other option was like Rasmus maybe, but we just decided that we can first pick now or second pick now IME, and it chokes their pool a lot too. So we just decided to do that.
And speaking of that, now goalie as well, Soren, you were you might be one of the first now. Well, definitely not the first now in all of the leagues to pilot, but it might be the first that we've seen in a while for now goalie. I know that Streak was a player that used a lot of now goalie in the previous season of NASL when he was in that position. He oftentimes played brawler, anyways. What are your thoughts on this pick? Do you think it's something that's going to be really strong? And I know that there have been some experimentations with goalies, off-roll goalies from your team before. But what are your thoughts on this one? Is this the one that you think is going to really stick?
Yeah, I always thought that now goalie is pretty solid. I think with the current patch in the meta run right now, I agree. Yvonne called it out, I think like a week ago, that the speed is like the most important thing in the game right now. And out of all like the speed-based characters, I think now has the best like hold it down potential because their abilities, realistically, if you time them right, guarantee either time for your team to come back or to win a strike with yourself. That and with like all of like her bis, you can get any dash awakening, Manu, any sort of like timeless, like all that stuff. I think she just pretty much is on like you can't deny her in draft ever, either from last draft or last draft, and then you have like the TP potential to just like go up and help your team whatever, like heal them too. Like I like in the last game they kept doing so much damage to NX and they couldn't really kill him because I would just TP on top of him. So we're getting good at like instead of like him going to the corner and like hiding, he can just push up into a location where I can TP on, heal him, and then I get to help with offense too. And on like those corner like stuff maps, like a strike now primary is really overpowered. I haven't been playing much goalie. I've played one comp game of goalie in the past like 2 weeks. I've only been playing midfield, and now it's probably my most played. So it's like pretty easy to pick a character like now and just run it down like a practically a midfielder with like just the goalie mechanics, and I think it's really strong. I know not a lot of people have been playing it lately. I think everyone's kind of like melee goalie pulled right now. And I think now has a lot of the strengths of a melee goalie character while having the ability to walk up and hold a position like very comfortably. So yeah, I think characters that just have core control or like creation spam right now are really good. I think we're leaning away from like the hit stun meta. I think comps that like we saw towards the end of last season where like Showtime almost won Grand just by playing core control. And I think if people start polishing that more, then teams become more coordinated. That I think that's kind of run the meta unless something like drastically changes, which is why we like the rune too.
Right, right, and I think that we don't have any midfielders here today, but I think that's the kind of the final thing, big change. Right, right. I know that. Yes, you've been playing a lot of it, but I think we saw a higher than expected presence of Juno and Rune, at least compared to last season. Coming into this week, is that something that, and any of you guys can answer this, is this something that you guys expect will continue into other weeks, or what do you think these characters bring to the table?
I think
I mean,
Rune's getting gutted. Like they're
what I
nerfing
think,
him next week, so
well, what I think is what I saw today is it has to do with the starting awakenings. I saw Juno picked on like hot shot. Well, that was goalie, but I think there are always going to be picks for like stuff like hot shot 1-2 and like timeless for rune. Like there are always going to be like niche picks that people can pull out, and like a lot of the players in the league, a lot of the midfielders have these picks that they can do. Like we banned Juno today, I think, against hook resets because we know he has a good Juno, and it's just picks that are also like tedious and annoying to play against too. So yeah, I do expect to see them in the future, but I really do think that picks like now with Stell, Amy, especially Amy, she's so good. Amy, Kai, like these characters, these midfield characters are still like on top, I think. But depending on the starting awakening and like the player piloting it, those other picks can come out for sure. And Vice, I think we saw Vice today as well, right? So
We did, yeah. So that it's super interesting. I'm super excited to see how the meta is shaping out, especially now that we're seeing like a lot less favored midfield picks enter back in with like the Vice after her like couple months of dominance being kind of something kind of absent from the North American Strikers League, and then finally she's working her way back in again. Seeing all these unique brawler picks is definitely something that I'm super interested in it as well. So that'll be something that for all of us to keep our eyes out on future weeks of the North American Strikers League. But I think that's going to wrap it up here for our post show for week 1. Before we depart, though, I would like to give the floor to each of you guys to give out any shout outs before we end the night. Joker, since you're the first to talk, you're first to give the shout out. Who'd you like to shout out?
obviously shout out to my teammates. Shout outs to Vaughn plus Color Craze and Fiery. Color Craze and Fiery are subs for us this season, and they helped us warm up. And Vaughn came in and helped warm us up as well before. So appreciate you guys. Obviously, my teammates Barcode and Shionzu. Like I'm just beyond grateful to you guys that you decided to want to play with me again this season. Even though like last season was a tragic ending, but we got it this season. You already know. And shout out to Bestine Slaw as well for always just like hosting these tournaments and these events for us. Like it's just such a pleasure to play in, and I'm beyond grateful to you guys as well. So appreciate
Yeah,
y'all.
of
Love y'all.
course. Appreciate that. And then moving on to Drew, any shout outs that you want to give? I know that this is the debut season of the Fluffy organization into the North American Strikers League. Any shout outs to there, or just shout outs to your team or your mom, anyone that you want to mention on stream here?
Yeah, I mean, shout out mom. Love you. Shout out Coscord. You guys are awesome. Shout out Fluffy for giving us a little bit of a chance to get a little bit more sponsorship in the scene. Shout out Fudgy because it's his birthday, and then shout out Luna Lunatic. That guy's cool.
Yeah, and then finally, I'll bring you guys, since you guys mentioned that you were a package deal today. EKC, any final shout outs that you'd like to give before we sign off for the night?
Yeah, Soren has some other stuff that he will probably talk about after, but shout out to Bang Bang Fluffy Bangers for warming us up for one set on 90 ping, and that was our entire warm up for the day. Shout out to Katsuna because he played like a beast today on the rune, and that's kind of all I have honestly. But Soren, what do you have to say?
shout out to our coach. I think we've like figured out a really solid coaching staff that I think like was a big reason why we won today. They gave us some like really solid advice today. Quite a few points actually. Yeah, he did a really good job.
No one could read that. No one could read that.
Shout out to ChatGPT. Really solid points today that gave us an edge over Bozo Bunch. Low key actually worked in the back of our head. We had some of those points, and Katsuna
Usually
definitely
that's-
took note.
Yeah.
Katsuna definitely took note. I think, yeah.
Hey, well, on that, we'll be concluding our first week of the North American Strikers League. We've already had some wonderful, wonderful series, some exciting games for us today, and that'll only continue tomorrow for the North American Strikers Academy, where we'll see all the Tier 2 teams duke it out, and then on Monday, where our North American Strikers training grounds will duke it out as well for their spot in the pipeline. Finally, again, we'll be here next week as well, and the week after that. If you want to catch more Omega Strikers here at the highest level, stay tuned. We'll be there with you 4 or 5 days of the week now, so that'll be something to look forward to. But that'll be all from us. I hope you guys all have a wonderful evening and happy striking, I think, or something like that. Have a good night.
Bye.